The boycott of Made in America consumer products and services as a grassroots political movement is at once trivial and massive. While not making much of an impact on their bottom line, the boycott is still a powerful postmodern symbol. A nascent worldwide movement, the enforcement of the boycott has waxed and waned according to the shifting tensions, peaking during the escalating fallout between Palestine and Israel, which has enjoyed the backing of the United States. But why do the US and Israel enjoy such close ties? Special interest lobbying is one of the reasons. Pro-Israel interest groups are the most powerful lobby in Washington, with Fortune magazine rating AIPAC one of the many lobby organizations working on behalf of Israel, as the second most powerful lobby in the capital. Meanwhile, the number of neoconservatives, individuals with close ties to Israel, have attained key positions at high levels of the US administration, State Department, and Pentagon. But the partnership, one may argue, has come at a great cost. Support for Israel has interfered with American relations with the oil-producing nations and with Muslim consumers who represent 1.2 billion people worldwide. And as the tensions continue to rise amid the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians that began in the early 20th century, many Muslim consumers found themselves searching for a way to voice their opposition, leading to a boycott of American goods and services. McDonald's was among the American companies that found itself becoming a target of the boycott. Muslim and anti-American consumers were outraged after it was honored during the Jewish United Fund (JUF) centennial celebration in 2000 as a first-tier corporate partner. Through its Israel Commission, the JUF works to maintain American military, economic, and diplomatic support for Israel, monitors, and when necessary, responds to the counter-negative media coverage of Israel. That, consumers said, is evident illustrating McDonald's support for the oppression of the Palestinians. KFC also faced the same diatribes and protests, although it has had a recent breakthrough. In February 2012, it finally opened up in the city of Ramallah amid some opposition from some Palestinian groups calling for a boycott because of US support for Israel. The protests were not confined to the Middle East. In 2009, a phone text message made its rounds all over the world, including the United States, Europe, Arab countries, and India, calling for the boycott of American companies such as McDonald's for financially supporting the Israeli offensive in Gaza. The message, which was also circulated on Facebook, claims that the firms would be donating all their profits in the past week to the Israeli army. And fearing their cash may be financing a war, some consumers actually stopped patronizing the outlets. It was no different in Malaysia, where even veteran politicians added their weight behind the call. Former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad was among the leaders who called for a global boycott of the US dollar and US-made products. He said such a boycott would pressure the United States into stopping its support for Israel attacks on Palestine, while acknowledging that there would be a price to pay if countries stop trading with the United States. Ultimately, he said, the world would get used to it. It would be the best and quickest solution to the Palestine issue, he said. Then, Minister in the Prime Minister Department, Datuk Sri Dr. Zahid Hamidi, as well as the Council for Ex-Members of Parliament and State Assemblies, Federal Territory Mubarak, concur with the proposal. Meanwhile, thousands rallied outside the US Embassy. However, the call was also criticized heavily by members of the public, pointing out that it was Malaysians who held the franchise license to McDonald's and KFC, and it was Malaysians who were holding jobs at these outlets. Some said the former premier was being irrational, referring to his call on employees of McDonald's and other American franchises to quit their jobs in protest. However, politicians and NGOs remain divided over the issue. Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak, who was a deputy prime minister, then said, the decision to boycott Israel and US goods is up to the individual consumer. As for members of the public, some of them have forgotten or are not even aware of the boycott and have been frequenting both McDonald's and KFC. Whether the boycott has continued or not, on a global scale, it has only ever had a negligible business impact on the two establishments, with McDonald's and KFC reporting no major impact to their sales. As global entities, McDonald's and KFC are just brands, and most consumers understand that the restaurants they are boycotting are local franchises and support their local community. Those who do get hurt in the crossfire are the local suppliers of beef for McDonald's or poultry for KFC, and the local people who used to work behind the counters. Furthermore, the assumption that these American firms directly finance Israel cannot be substantiated. Aware that it cannot simply change the minds of consumers, McDonald's is focusing on trust-building efforts through its ongoing corporate social responsibility initiatives instead. It claims to help customers build better communities and support charity through the Ronald McDonald House Charities, which has contributed more than 10 million ringgit to help improve the lives of less privileged Malaysian children.